occupying at least 25% of the total quantity of Imperial planets. The Hive World is a type of Imperial planet consisting of vast, continent-spanning cities, often built high into the sky and deep beneath the Earth. It is most surely the most populous type of Imperial planet, of the currently catalogued by the Administratum of the Imperium of Man. In fact, the populations of these planets are so humongous that the people live in huge, urban, gargantuan megastructures called Hive Cities, giving the planets their name, the Hive Worlds. Consisting of truly immense, self-sufficient, multi-layered megastructures that reach high into the sky, each housing billions of individuals, industries of all sorts, mostly weapons, armored vehicles, and ammunition. The Hive Worlds often provide much-needed industrial labor. Their factories produce heaps of material and other goods to meet the demands of the Imperial tithe. But is it just a part of the big picture? Are these Hive Worlds and their gigantic megacities that reach into space, while at the same time are dug in hundreds of kilometers in the ground? Hey folks, hello and welcome back. In this video, we've decided to focus on the excessively cluttered Hive world of the Imperial Warhammer 40K universe. The places of living and work for the vast majority of the population of the Imperium. Billions to even trillions of people live crowded together in a single Hive city. Among them are the soldiers of Imperial forces, including the Imperial Guard and the Space Marines. These worlds contribute the bulk of the recruits for the Imperial Guard. And no surprise that the dwellers are already hardened and experienced in warfare, owing to the pathetic and hard situations they are forced to live with, the scarcity of resources, and rebellion at its peak. So just make sure to stay till the end of the video to find out everything there is to know about life in these Hive worlds. With that being said, let us get started. First things first, what is a Hive world? As the name suggests, a place in which people are easily occupied. The Hive worlds of the Imperial universe are worlds that have an extremely high population, and peopled are narrowed in massive arcologies called hives, each of which is essentially an individual nation that, in turn, is said to occupy huge Hive cities. Of all the species that occupy the Warhammer 40K universe, only the humans of the Imperium are known to occupy such type of worlds. As you step outside, you see that the world outside the hives is usually heavily polluted and isolated, and most hives spend their entire life without even stepping outside to explore the tunnel network of their hive. As the magnitude of the megastructure is so large, one can get lost by the mere bad turn in the end of a tunnel, and may never find one's way back. Hive worlds often possess extensive manufacturing districts. In fact, it has been said that the sacrifice of over 1 million soldiers only equals 1 day's Hive world production in weapons and armor. Undoubtedly, every resident here knows how to handle a gun. And not only that, but Hive worlds also populate newly discovered planets, and Imperial citizens from various Hive worlds, willingly or unwillingly, are gathered and shipped off to distant colonies. An example of this would be Medusa 5. Apart from that, they carry out huge trades, taking in and sending out large number of goods. Much like most other Imperial worlds, Hive world society has distinct classes, with a ruling class, a middle class, and a working class. The middle classes occupy the middle areas, whilst the working classes are crowded together in the lower areas. But as you move to the bottom sections, you find them packed with underclasses and criminals that are sent to be forgotten. These crime-ridden, poverty-stricken areas that are always found in the most polluted and crumbling lower levels of the Underhive are home to violent gangs, criminals, and assorted scum, as well as mutants and heretical cults who hide there from the system, making these hive cities no less dangerous than the outskirts that are reduced to ash wastes or radioactive desert by the never-ceasing industry of the great cities. Another very important aspect of these worlds is that the population of each of these approximately doubles every 100 years, and as each hive houses between 10 and 100 billion people, and there are around 5 to 20 hives per planet, the sheer number of citizens is unimaginable. Each of these citizens is a potential soldier for the Emperor's already vast armies. So these hive worlds can be simply called factories of people. Another notable thing is that certain hive worlds are highly advanced and completely developed, and stacked with hundreds of layers of buildings and support structures, covering the entirety of the planet, effectively being a city planet. Holy Terra, for instance, an example of this super hive world. What many might not know is that hive worlds weren't always like these. They, too, began as relatively hospitable places to live. As they became severely polluted, they later turned into what we call them today, dumps of people. So now that we have an insight into the hive worlds, let us show what the life of the hive worlders looks like. Citizens of the hive world spend all their lives never seeing the sky and have no idea what the surface of their world looks like, and often never even leave the city level on which they were born, mainly due to the reasons that these are sealed ecosystems with billions of people stacked on top of each other in close confines. The hive worlds are essentially born into a house or family with their job already decided before they were born. So all they have to do is grow up and get to work limitlessly at their task in the manufactoria and industrial hubs of their hive city, producing goods to export or maintaining the many systems of the hive to support the circle of life, and easing paths for the rise of another generation. When it comes to resources, almost everything they consume is recycled and reused, and few things are ever wasted. This is why the air they breathe in, the water they drink, and the food they eat all have once passed through their bodies and are restored to be consumed once again. The system is so objective that even when a hive worlder dies, their obligation to the hive and house is not completed, and most hives depend upon their dead for the resources, such as unused body starch, so to say, that they can provide. And if that is less to give you how pathetic living conditions they endure, all that a hive dweller has, from the habitation room in which they live to the clothes they wear, all come from those before them. So simply the dead gift the living with what little they have to keep the cycle of life in Hive City working. Very similar to the distribution of classes, there is a distribution of resources, and as expected, the highborn enjoy all the wealth the Imperium can offer. As you move down, you pass the heads of the guilds that, too, live in relative ease compared to the workers and dregs, where resources become less abundant. But the lower you go from here, the more deteriorated and dangerous it becomes, with the debris of billions drifting down to rest among the filth far below. There is no rule of law in the depths of the Underhive, and no system to govern what pitiful resources remain. After shedding light on the life in the Hive Worlds, it is not fair to not get a glimpse of the most notable Hive Worlds of the Imperial Universe. So, here are some notable Hive Worlds. Number 1. Ichar 4. Located in the Ultima Segmentum, to the galactic north of Ultramar, the Ichar 4 is an important industrial center for the region, producing supplies for many armies. In fact, the planet is well known for its ore and mysoproteins, which they export to the world. At the advent of the Second Tyrannic War, Gene Stealers attacked the planet in the wake of taking full control of it. Gene Stealers were operating under the name the Brotherhood. They instigated a rebellion on the planet. However, the The rebellion caught the attention of Inquisitor Agmar, but the Brotherhood had already taken control of the planet by the time Agmar arrived on the planet. But effectively, Agmar appealed to the Space Marine chapter, the Ultramarines, to help him against the rebellion. Marnius Calgar, chapter master of the Ultramarines, arrived 39 days later on the Space Marine battle barge, Octavius. Eventually, with the combined effort of the Ultramarines, PDF forces, and the Imperial Guard, Agmar successfully demolished the invasion and got rid of all gene stealers. Number 2. Vergast. The next Hive world we have on our list is Vergast, which is located in the Sabbat worlds. After the Imperial victory at Balhaut, the Chaos warlord Asphodel escaped the Imperial forces and ran to Vergast, where he besmirched the Hive city of Ferozoika and attacked the neighboring hives of Vanek and Vervenhive. While Vanek was ruined to ashes by atomic weapons, Vervenhive was brought under control via a protected siege. But soon, relief forces from the Imperial Guard joined Vervenhive's guards and somehow repelled the Chaos attack. However, they couldn't save the city from destruction. Apart from that, Asphodel was killed in a commando raid led by Colonel Commissar Abram Gaunt. Nevertheless, Vervenhive was denied the Imperial relief, and resultantly its population migrated to other Hive cities, some of which were newly founded. In the later years of the Crusade, a modest Imperial contribution allowed Vervenhive to gradually be reformed. Number 3. Necromunda. The other Hive world on our list is the major producer of munitions for the Imperial Guard, the Necromunda. Their manufacturings produce the famous las guns, auto guns, shotguns, and bolt guns, among other weapons. The planet taxes huge numbers of troops for the Imperial Guard, most notably the Necromundan spiders, as well as other supplies. Necromunda is representative of most Hive worlds, with its Hive city packed with powerful gangs. The Hive world was founded 15,000 years ago as a mining and manufacturing colony. Previously a part of the Arrhenius continuity, a small empire of humans ruled by techno-nobility. It got separated from an orc presence by the Imperial Fists during the Great Crusade, establishing the close ties between Necromunda and the chapter. Another school of thought is that it is not orcs, but the sheer disobedience and resistance of the former Necromunda's human colony towards the coming of the Imperium that unleashed a war, making ash waste from where Hive cities rose. Necromunda, remaining true to its origin, is still a world dominated by mines, factories, refineries, and processing plants. The planet is a vast powerhouse of industry, producing thousands and thousands of different items for use throughout nearby planetary systems. This marks the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon as you enter or leave. This will only take a microsecond, but will significantly boost the YouTube algorithm, propelling our videos to the top. See you in the following video.